There's not an album that dropped this year that's better than this one. And yeah, whoever you just said, no, nobody's better.
Is there anything that has been shot yet, like video wise?
That's the only question I don't feel like we should answer publicly yet.
The drop yet.
That's it.
Damn. We're not supposed to let them know what's in the chamber.
Got him. They ain't no.
It's never dropped now.
I called this 5 years ago. Jersey is gonna have the craziest chokehold on the culture, and look at us right now.
And I think that's a good thing about this group because you have so many different perspectives and personalities. That
Y'all ready to hop into it?
yes, sir.
Cool.
Come on, let's, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been like half a summer, honestly. Welcome back to the AO Chill podcast. I have no idea what was my last podcast. It's been that long, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see y'all back. And what better than to get a DM from Samad and him being like, I need an emergency podcast. And I was like, I had just come back from a 18-hour drive up from Florida that I did in one shot.
One shot?
One shot.
One shot. To see everything you ever wanted?
One chance, one moment. I actually don't know the lyrics. I wish I did. But guys, it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have you guys here, and you guys have me in this beautiful space. It's really dope. But without further ado, please take a couple seconds, minutes. Let the people know who you are and where you're from, and we'll start with my boy right here.
You're 1/4 of the Cornerstones, Soulless from North Bergen, New Jersey.
Yo, 2/16 of the Cornerstones. Samad Savage out here, with the boys, skilled with it. You already know what's up.
It's your boy Blaze the Rebel, Ill-Town, repping East Orange, born and raised. You already know the vibes, you know what I'm saying? Cornerstones in the building.
And it's your boy J Wonder all the way over here off the camera that you can't see. Word.
So we got 3 of the 4 of the group today, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to hop right into it because I got so many questions. This podcast has caught me so off guard, and there's so much that I need to know. First thing I want to ask is the group. How did you guys create this group? Because I'm familiar with actually all 4 of you. So how did it start?
I think Blaze should take that one.
That's actually, okay, so we have a record called Humble Beginnings, and Humble Beginnings, actually, funny enough, originally came out on my last project called Sanford, and Classic. It almost didn't come out. We were on the mixing cycle of my project, and we were wrapping everything up, and me and Samad were just breezing through the stuff that didn't make the cut. And I remember just hearing that beat, and I'm like, we had everything except for that. There was a gap in the song. That last, when we did the double flow in the second verse, that part where Jay Wonder starts rapping is the only part on the song where he raps outside of the hook, and that was the part that was empty for the longest. So I'm at Samad's crib, and he's playing the record, and I'm like, damn, this shit is so fire, bro. We should finish this. And then I had just came up with the concept of the video in my head, and I was so gassed at the concept to the point I was like, no, it needs to be done. So I called Jay while I was in the session, like, yo, you need to come here tomorrow. It's Friday, I think. It's Friday. I'm like, you need to come here tomorrow so we can lay down the verse so we can shoot the video Sunday. So he came Saturday, and we shot the video Sunday. Finished the song, shot the song.
Mixed the song.
Everything, within that one weekend. And through mixing that, his verse just put a whole new life into the song. And he was like, damn, this shit's fire. And then when we dropped the video, it was just taking off organically. Shout out to my boy Cena over at Revolt TV. He had just asked me for the video on his own accord. And he was like, yo, I want to play this. Can you send it to me? And then I forgot the YouTuber who had put us in his top 10 list.
The Rap Critic.
Yeah, Rap Critic. Shout out to Rap Critic. He had put us in there. And everybody was just giving us rave reviews about the concept, the execution, just even the feeling of the song. And someone was even in the comments like, yo, y'all should be a group. Whole time, that was our same sentiments because we were like, yo, this shit is fire.
I remember the conversation that day, too. It was after we were done shooting the music video and knowing how it came out and seeing how we worked really well together. We were all I think we were playing demos of what we had with each other, but not all together because that was the first time we all got on the same track. And I played a couple of records with me and Jay, Soulless, Blaze played some shit together. I played something with Soulless, and I'm like, yo, at this point, why don't we just add extra verses to this song and just make a group? And then it all just formulated. Not to mention, shout out to Chris, Film 973. That's his app, right?
Film Trip 97. Christopher
97.
Rodriguez. He was actually the DP who I had got to shoot the visuals for Humble Beginnings, and he captured the concept
It's beautiful.
perfectly, and added his 2 cents in. So shout out to Chris for always being down for the vision, especially on last minute's notice. So
And thank you for picking up that beat, because that song would have never gotten done. I don't know if you remember.
didn't
when
you
I
make
showed
that for like a cipher?
No, I made that beat and was just like, I wrote the first verse. I was trying to do some Raekwon and Ghost type, styles, or like early Nas type styles. But then I had came to you with it, and I'm like, yo, I got this beat, and I felt like you would kill it because you were looking for some more like boom bap stuff. And you were like, yo, this beat is crazy. And I'm like, all right, let me show you what I wrote to it, just to show you the style that I would have picked if I would have stayed with the beat. And then you said like, nah, just put that shit on there. And then you added your verse, and Solus was already there to finish another verse or some shit, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm over here trying to wonder, like, how was I in this picture? Like, I remember being there. I just don't remember how I got on the song.
And how long ago was this about?
That was early, mid 2021.
I'll check the receipts.
No, I'm sure it was mid 2021 because it was right before Sanford dropped. So
Very
it had to
true.
be in like
Sanford
August,
was like, that's what you was
because
using
Sanford
it for.
dropped in December.
November.
Cap.
Did it drop a week after mine or a week before mine?
Literally on Christmas.
On Christmas? Nah.
Now y'all gotta throw hands.
I know they're not telling me about my project.
I know that sounds crazy to tell you about your own project, but I'm sure that it either dropped a week before or after my project.
All right, so everybody's going to come to learn to trust Blaze whenever he says something.
It's not going to say the official date. I think it's going to say the year on there.
Copy. But y'all could continue with the questions.
Yeah. So,
What's that say?
because
That's not Christmas. December 24th. So what we talking about? Nah.
December 24th.
I was off. But I know we got the video done before we did the Go to Work video. Yeah. Which we got the Go to Work video done like a good 2 weeks before my album was done. Was released. Which means that it still got done either August, September, around that time of year.
Humble Beginnings was shot in November, I believe.
Oh, this doesn't matter.
So,
they don't care about that.
In 2021, so if this started around 2021 and y'all had kind of like conceptualized becoming a group around this time,
Yeah.
when did it actually start becoming a thing where it was like you guys were seriously meeting up to like start to make this album that I'm assuming is your first project?
We had an idea to do it, but we were like, yo, let's just get one session in. And for the majority of the first session, we just like talked and just saw where everybody's head was. And it was like a 2 or 4 day session, somewhere around that time. We just kept going to sleep or coming back and working on it. And we didn't even have a name for the group until like maybe about the third day. And then we stuck with that once that was set in stone. We worked on our favorite track on there, or I would say that like majority vote, our favorite track is Star of an Artist, because we had a deep conversation about all of our favorite songs and then try to put that all into one record.
Word.
Yeah, that record right there is that shit was crazy. Cause we remember we was just having a conversation talking about where we were at musically in our head, like what we're listening to, what inspires us the most, and stuff like that. And everybody had some different genre, some different artist, some different sound. And I remember after we all gave him snippets of things that we were fucking with, he went and just made the whole beat, and it incorporated everything that our favorite artists or our favorite songs had. And bro, that song is like
Such a beautiful moment.
Oh man, top 5 for sure on that album.
And it all started with a conversation that you were having with Jay. He's not here right now, but pray for him. He got a headache, crazy headache. Yeah, he was having a conversation with Jay, and they was talking about like the plights of being an artist of any art form, really, and just feeling extremely underappreciated and wondering when your moment is going to be. Not in necessarily an egotistical way, but in a way where it's like you work so hard for so many years and have so many plans that you're sure are good ideas, and it's not received in a way that you want. So it came to the quote, "Are you even listening?" And at that moment, that's when I pulled out I forgot the name of the synth that I have, and the talk box, and said, "Are you even listening?" And then created layers, and then like, you know what? We're gonna wait until one of those channels asks me to do a breakdown for all of that.
Word. So one of the biggest things that I realized, because you had sent me, I just finished listening to the record, probably like right as I was on my way here, right?
Yes.
I think one of the biggest things for me, I'm very like diehard Jersey, like, and you said Cool Town referring to Jersey.
Illtown.
Illtown, East Orange, New Jersey.
Is that Jersey City or is that
East Orange.
East Orange? My bad.
Like the edge of East Orange and North, pretty much, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, like down the hill area. If you know, you know.
So one of the things I was hearing in the record that was just like blew my mind, because I feel like not enough people. I say this almost every podcast, I feel like, but it's like not enough people show love to Jersey, or even like there's a lot of people who I feel like don't just like put it in almost every song. It's like it's not like you need to put it in every song, but it's also in a certain sense. I also feel like when you do put it in, right? Unless you're probably like someone like Fetty or Koi, who are like already big and they can say whatever they want and it doesn't matter like if it's corny or not, because it won't come off that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes you be talking about like your own town, it's like it doesn't come off right. But I feel like when I listen to this, I was like, damn, like especially being from Jersey and knowing the history of Jersey as well, like I was like, this feels lit. You know what I mean? This feels like something I could really back and be behind and not be like, this is mad corny. So where I was kind of going was that is like, can y'all each talk about your own personal connection to Jersey and why it comes off so hard within this album?
I would say, I think I've talked about Jersey enough for people to know how I feel about Jersey. But just to go on to that point of like not sounding corny when talking about your hometown, one of our main goals is having authenticity in every single thing we do and not coming off as corny, because we know like in this day and age, most people who be like, I'm about to save hip hop or I'm the greatest this and that of hip hop. And they also have this like this negative connotation that where it's like they hate everything else that hip hop has become. And it's like, no, we're not that. We're kind of part of the evolution of hip hop. That is what hip hop is today. So our priority has always been to just deliver all of those messages because we feel those messages without it sounding preachy or sounding like it's about us, because it's way bigger than us. This is an entire movement. Yeah, I'll let y'all take that.
Do you guys have any comments on that as well?
I feel like I could piggyback off of that. I've personally been an underdog my whole life, and I feel like Jersey's an underdog state. I resonate a lot with that. I love being slept on, because when I come through and do what I do, you're going to be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel as though I was just born and raised in that energy, and Jersey embodies that. And it's a little different when you talk your shit and actually know, like, no, this isn't just me being boastful. Like, Jersey actually has a lot of talent, has a lot of rich history. It's actually the predecessor for a lot of the things that people get a lot of hype off of these days. Even to this day, even with Jersey Club, a lot of people don't realize, like, I called this 5 years ago. You can go on my Twitter. I'm like, yo, Jersey is going to have the craziest chokehold on the culture. And look at us right now. A lot of people don't even realize it goes deeper even outside of music. Like, Hollywood originally started in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? That shit started, I think, in West Orange. I could be wrong, but it was in New Jersey. And a lot of people don't really realize how much respect they really have to pay to New Jersey as a whole for its contribution to the culture and even paving the pathway for what they want to do now. So, long story short, I know that was a long-winded message, but I just feel like a lot of people sleep on Jersey and a lot of people used to sleep on me. So I go hard and I rep it because it's the same place that made me who I am today. So
that's crazy. You know what I mean? He says that because like even me growing up, I never took into account that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like
The history.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, like with my family, they're not necessarily on that. I mean, my parents, yeah, but like being with the grandparents, being with, you know what I mean, other family, it's like you really don't. You're not. It's nothing that's based out of Jersey. And then with my parents, when he would play hip hop and stuff like that, like. You got the Big Puns, the Biggie Smalls, the Pacs, the 50s, and it's like very New York centric, you know what I mean, stuff. And you kind of get a New York feel for it, but I never.
Fugees or Redman?
Not Redman, to be honest. Fugees for sure, but not Redman. But even then, it's like there's so much. I feel like New York gets all that shine that when you do hear something, I never thought like, yo, where the Fugees from? You know what I mean? I didn't know they were from Jersey until later on, but it's crazy that he says that because Jersey really does just get swept under the rug, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like, honestly, I'm sorry because I forget which song it was, but there was one, and maybe it was Samad, you made a historical kind of a rap kind of like shout out there. I think you were saying...
The Garden, I think.
The Garden?
I think it's The Garden.
I think it was The Garden. Ah, dude, actually, nah, yo, actually, matter of fact, dude, that song fucking fire. Actually, no, I was listening to that, I was like, yo, I was like, because there was some line I think was like something the garden provides, and I was just like, historically, yes, that's all fucking very factual, and it's funny because when we had our first podcast, I had mentioned to you that you kicked my ass into gear when you were talking about like Jersey history, because like I felt like when I was talking, like I do a lot of research before I like do like any guests or anything. I'm usually not caught off guard like that. But like Samad was the first podcast where he was like saying like all these names and I didn't know shit. And I was sitting there and I was like, damn, I'm a dumbass. And I was like, but then once I got into it, I was like, oh shit. And so I started watching all these documentaries on like Jersey, and there's not like a lot of documentaries that talk about this stuff, but like, you know, Queen Latifah being like one of the people, Lauryn Hill, like, you know, pioneers in their own right, you know, pushing hip hop forward, especially for even just like female rappers. There was one there's one hip hop group that you mentioned, and they're from South Jersey, almost near by Philly. I honestly wish I took a note on it. I don't know if it was Cool the Gang or what.
Cool in the Gang?
Maybe.
I don't recall them being from South Jersey. I thought they were from like up here. But regardless, there is a lot of talent in South Jersey that even I have the same reaction where I like beat myself up like, how did I not know about this artist and that artist?
Shout out Mayor Fontaine. Shout out Spence.
Yes.
Shout out Mike Zombie.
Yes, plenty of them out there. And like I think that's what I was going for with the Garden. Like I played that record for somebody and they was like, really, Central Jersey too? And I'm like, yeah, there's people out there in Central Jersey that really do identify as being from Central Jersey, and we gotta really unify. We can't have this mentality that we claimed is placed on us by New York against each other. You know, we gotta unify.
Word. And I'm not gonna take back any of the times I said that Central Jersey doesn't exist, but when it comes to this, I got y'all back. Y'all exist. I just got to put that on the record, because I think on every single podcast
making
I was
progress
like,
already.
Yeah, making progress. Yeah, man.
I don't know too many like artists out there, but shout out to Rob Sand. That's my main guy out there right now. He puts me up on what's hot out there.
Word. So one of the things too I want to talk about, you know, historically, all three of you, lyrically, fucking crazy.
Thank you.
NJ.
Appreciate it.
And that's historically what New Jersey is known for. New York was not. I forget. New York and Philly were all known for their sounds, like back in the day, like right when hip hop was starting. But like little people know that New Jersey was known for their lyricism. It was the biggest thing that Jersey was known in when the hip hop first started. Right. We're living in a time period right now where it's harder and harder to get lyrics and lyrical songs that are like just mad talented, I think, out into the mainstream. Like, did you guys what were your guys' process on when you were making this album, like keeping that in mind?
Didn't JID just do like 100K first week?
Did he? I'm honestly not sure.
Didn't Kendrick do like 400K? J. Cole did like at least like 300K his last run, right?
I don't think J. Cole would qualify. I mean, I love J. Cole. I just don't think he would qualify in
As
that
being
umbrella. As being what?
Lyrical?
He's lyrical, but when you mean lyrical, you mean more so, I think he's emphasizing on, correct me if I'm wrong, like speed and technicality.
I think speed, technicality, and also just like wordplay as well. Although
I think they're more storytellers than lyricists. Not to take away from the lyricism.
No, I love Cole,
I'm not saying
bro.
it all because I love Cole and I love Kendrick, but I feel like they're more storytellers
You see,
than
Kendrick
lyricists.
to me would have more lyrical input. You know what I mean? Because to me, when you say lyrical, I'm thinking you're playing with words in a way that's like
It's literally from a
acrobatic.
technical point of view. Like, yeah, that's
It's
how
very-
I'm
When you
looking
say
at it.
lyrical, I'm thinking Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, Logic. I'm trying to think of like people outside of that era. Radville is pretty lyrical. But there's a lot of like people who I think are lyrical that it's just like there's still a market for it. Like even JPEG Mafia, as experimental as he is and how you can barely hear the lyrics sometimes.
Yeah.
He always has bars. He always comes with bars and technicalities and different types of flows and stuff. So like I feel like people like to act as if lyrical rap isn't like doing well, but it's only because it's not at the forefront and because fans of lyricists they're a lot more picky.
yes,
They don't want anything that's less than 100% pure, authentic, dope shit all the time. While the fans of other genres that are like a lot looser with their rulings and stuff, it's like, oh, anybody can listen to this. And then also you got to think about what the industry is trying to put at the forefront, what agendas the industry may have, as far as making us listen to music that's not going to do anything for us or heal us or help us.
I guess that's kind of like my main point with it, because it's like I listen to this music, I'm like, dude, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? And when I think about talent and even just listen to that album, man, I can't think about too many other people in Jersey right now who are really putting up, like, who are consistent like you guys, who will be putting out stuff at quality like you guys. And then I've been thinking at the same time, and be like, it's been maybe like almost 2 years since I've like met like you two. I've known about you for a while, but we've never linked up like that yet. We've seen each other at Mad Minds and stuff. But, you know, I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, like, what in this like album, I hate to ask about like goals and expectations, because I feel like there really shouldn't be, because it's art, and art should be kind of like expectationless. But like knowing that you guys work with certain, like, I don't know if this is supported by a label or if like you had any ideas on it, like where are you guys at on your thoughts releasing this stuff?
For me, the goal was to really just complete it one time around, firstly. To prove that we can do this and work in this structure and do something incredible. Now that we've done this project, and you know, hopefully everybody who's watching this is going to listen to it and enjoy it and whatnot, the next move would be, it was like, for me, it was like resetting as an artist. As who I am right now, I am working on distribution deals and like doing things that a person at my caliber should be doing. But the Cornerstones brand is so fresh that it's like, all right, we got to build up that reputation again. Yeah, we're all stars, but we got to prove that we can do this shit right this time, and then get the investments and all of that.
I would love to hear Blaze on that one, because I feel like you even said it in the group chat, bro.
I'm honestly just at a point with my artistry where I'm shifting more to a direct-to-consumer mindset as far as execution of things. And I say that to say that, not to sound like I don't give a fuck, but I don't really care about the numbers. I'm just really been in the mindset where I don't care even if it reaches 1 million people. I care that if 1,000 people heard this, all 1,000 of those individuals feel as though that was the craziest shit they ever heard in their life. And if that's the general consensus amongst everybody, I'm happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you build a really good cult following, and that's how you build people who really care about you. And not even to dive off, but I just feel like a lot of people get hemmed up on numbers and views, and not that that's not important, especially if you're trying to do a monetary gain from this. But at the same time, you just gotta, I don't know, you could just do a lot more without reaching for the fame or reaching for, you know, notoriety. I feel as though as long as you reach for impact, that's the most important thing. And that's kind of where I'm at with this project.
And that's why I love this group, because we all have different opinions and put those things together. Like, I appreciate everything he said on an artistic level. I just focus on, the only reason I focus on monetary value is really to be able to have effective change in people's lives, because I don't feel like, I don't subscribe to capitalism or anything like that, but I feel like the more successful that we are, the more that we're able to push what we want. Who knows, maybe we'll be 40 and rich enough to be able to do our own label and put what we believe is dope at the forefront to cut through all of the bullshit, you know?
But I think that's a good thing about this group, because you have so many different perspectives and personalities that it's kind of like, if one area, because you do need marketing and all that extra BS, you know what I mean, to get the product to where it got to get to, you know what I mean? And you have a mind.
There's an art to marketing too. I wouldn't call marketing BS, but there is BS marketing.
Yeah.
I feel you though, so let's get you.
I'm not that person, but you know what I mean? There's somebody here who has that mindset and, you know, is willing to put that foot forward. And then you have people like him who's, you know what I mean, saying it's about the impact, you know what I mean? And whoever hears this, they got to know that this is the hardest shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And personally, I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think people are doing what we're doing right now.
There's not an album that dropped this year that's better than this one. And yeah, whoever you just said, no, nobody's better. There's not an album, in my opinion, there's not an album that dropped that was this good since, well, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I don't even want to mention other albums.
See? It's been a
ain't no
minute.
album. They ain't no
And
album.
as far as a group album, though, I don't think there's ever been a group album that fucks with this.
No.
Yes, whoever you just said out loud, like, but this, no, yeah, I think I can confidently say we are on top of that, and it's because we are a lot more cohesive. We make sure that everything gets done, and most importantly, as you just saw with the last question that was asked, we give each other balance. We always make sure that nobody goes into any such direction way too far. We always are just super tight knit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's a group that has that. I don't. There's always one or two members that just don't. They're not tapped in. In fact, the only reason that Ja isn't here right now, sorry, Jay Wonder isn't here right now, is because he got a headache. But besides that, we all on point.
My man gutted on him for that headache. Nah, but all jokes aside, I don't mean to take away, but even in the process of making the album, like and when we did our interview, right? Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me like the one problem with me was the quality. Like, I'm so nonchalant that it just be no quality. I'm so nonchalant that I won't put out for years. And I like that with this group. It's the same nonchalantness with the other things mixed in that make it a complete project. Right. Like, we're in a session and we all have similar beat tastes. So nobody's arguing over what beat. Mm-hmm. Then we start writing and it's free. There's no like, oh, what are the fans gonna want? What are people gonna want to hear? That. You know what I mean? The only thing that we ever really talked about in terms of like taking other people into consideration was time. You know, how long is this track? Mm. How long can we push it? How do we squeeze in? You know what I mean?
And a lot of that had to do with our own taste too. Because I mean, let's keep it real. We may have a lot of old head tendencies, but we're still young as shit. So we know what's popping. We enjoy what's popping, and we do have to think like, do I even enjoy this anymore? Like, yeah, my favorite album from 1990 such and such did this thing, but how can we do that in a modern way that, you know, fits our palate?
Yeah.
My bad for interrupting.
No, you Gucci. And you know what's crazy? I will kind of shine a light on you real quick, because when we had our podcast way back when, man, I was like, I don't know how to explain how excited I was when I heard your voice for the first time on the album. And it's nothing to take away from y'all, because I know y'all, right? And I've heard y'all stuff before. But it's funny that you brought that up, because that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Because I was like, I love Soul's music, man. And I remember like telling you when we were on there, and I was picking out some of the lyrics that you wrote in some of your songs, and I was like, yo, this hit me hard. And it was like the only thing I had against it was like, you know, like because I'm a sound engineer, so I was like, yo, as an engineer, listen to some of this. I was like, damn. I was like, you know, like it's just that little extra like oomph, like that polish. You know what I mean? You have everything carved out, you have everything there. It just need the polish. And man, when I heard your voice, I was like, and your voice is distinct, you know what I mean? I was like, oh shit. I was like, and I wasn't sure if it was just gonna be a feature at first, because I had no idea what I was listening to. I just found out y'all a group when y'all showed me the Instagram post. I was like, oh shit.
Honestly, so, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that, because you got a genuine reaction. You didn't have any time to really like prepare.
Yeah, and it was like I knew it was you. And I was like, damn, and just hearing like it all come out through, and like your lyricism too, I was just like, it's mad refreshing. And I will say too, now that I know you guys are a group, and it's mad funny because I have my little like knowledge of diving into a little bit of everything. I think I had mentioned to you at one point in our interview, I'm not sure, but I mentioned it in a couple of other interviews. I used to be in like a boy like group too, I guess. Like we called ourselves a boy band at first. But we're kind of going for like a Brockhampton type vibe at first, and so like I know like the difficulty of like putting out a project together, working together, and like I think in my experience it was just hard to kind of keep it just fun. You know what I mean? How was your guys' experience working together on this? So I know you guys had mentioned it was really fun and stuff, but like, what were some of the most difficult parts? What were the best parts of making this?
Man, the most difficult part was syncing up schedules with everybody. I mean, once you got us in the room, though, it was fucking lit. You couldn't stop us. It was like, damn, bars flying left and right. You almost got a haircut if you got too close to the speaker. You feel me? But like, you know what I mean? But shit, what?
It's wild that's what he said was the hardest part, because that's not even the first thing that popped up in my head. All I can remember is just hearing certain songs that they put verses on, and I'm like,
oh, cause
how am I gonna? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yo, niggas was coming for
then, all right. So here, this is the spot where you go on. You hear the verses that come before, and you're like, there's no way that I could do something after what they did. Like, to me, that was one of the hardest things. Like, yeah, the scheduling.
He be coming with the hardest verses. And he be like,
I'm not gonna lie.
When
the shit first started, like as the group, I was like, I rap with all of them enough to like know they moves and like I've sparred with them lyrically. You, I was like, I've only rapped with you once, and I feel like you totally got me on that track, and you was kind of on some like boogeyman shit to me, but I'm like, nah, I'm
not
better. I got
Speechless.
this.
Speechless?
Speechless?
You're
yeah.
bugging.
Now hear me out. On the first mix,
He said, "Hear him out on Speechless."
right? On the first mix of that shit, it was like the way I mixed it made me hate my verse. But then after touching it again, I didn't have to like fix anything in the verse. I'm like, all right, cool. Now we good. But those first four though, I remember the first time you rapped that shit. I was like, shit. What are we going to do?
Yeah, to me that was the hardest part. Coming after some of the verses that were laid down, like even Humble Beginnings, the first one, that was the first track that we really worked on, and that was even then I was like, I haven't did this in a long time, like because they're more consistent than I am. You know, like Jay's super consistent. Samad, Blaze,
Consistent.
yeah, you guys are like the most. I feel like I'm the guy in the cave, like just like they call me and I come out type shit, like.
Which is high key some like legendary anime shit. Because we all down there just fighting and shit, and then we're like, you know what? We need him. Somebody called.
And the sky turned dark.
In RZA voice, we need him. You know, we gotta do this for the label.
Do this album.
Because that Humble Beginnings, and they're coming like with speed. And I at that point, I remember I wasn't writing a lot. Like I took a extreme break and I started studying and looking at other stuff. So coming back to that and hearing how fast they were going, and it was kind of like I had to retrain, you know, the muscles here to do that again. I know people don't believe that, but when you stop to get your mouth to,
It's not like riding a bike.
yeah, to go around and do that again, it's hard.
And
but
that's
I
just
loved
on-
it. I loved it because it really brought it out of me, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like,
And that's on like one or two records, because like if people see all of us get together, I would say like primarily if people see Blaze, I, and you get together, they're probably going to expect like the fastest rap album ever, and it's like that's not what we're here to bring. We all have that talent and can use that talent, but it's like we only really let that shine on one or two songs. Most of this is about feelings, and not like, oh, this is about like it's a vibe, you know, shit is cliche, but more like it's a feeling.
yeah, it's
There's
not
too
really
many words to
rapidy
describe
rap.
it.
It's not
Yeah.
really rapidy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does embody like the core values of hip hop.
Yeah.
And side note, like you just said, how when people look at us three, they always expect like what I would consider like lyricism, speed, and all that acrobatic shit. When you think about Jay Wonder, you would just think of like the punch that like he carried.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but
Yeah, but even he brought the speed on one track.
Even he could keep up. Like he don't
Yeah.
even make that his main attribute. But it's in his pocket, and you would never expect that shit. When you hear his discography, it's amazing.
Everybody
Doing the whole project
got
was
out their
crazy.
usual bags on this. That's something I can say for sure. We had this nigga Blaze singing on Starving Artist. He's in the studio like, oh, you even listening?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. I was like, I was singing on this shit.
Yeah, as I said,
crying.
we pushed limits and boundaries too. I didn't want to just make what y'all thought we could make. Like, we made some. Like, I don't mean this in a promo way, but you really have to listen to the album to understand everything like we're trying to say.
So can we go track by track names?
For sure. Do you need the track list? Because he just, as he said, he listened to this shit about like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
I feel like I heard it so much I could name all 14 songs.
Yo,
on
yeah,
there.
I could too, but I didn't want to. I wanted him to be able to see the list.
Which I think it would be cool too, because to explain like even that first track, like the title behind and shit like that.
Yeah. Let's see.
You pulling it up?
Yes. Oh, we moved Brimstone. I forgot about that. Brimstone and what do?
Stop leaking it.
You're right. But you don't have to let them listen to the project.
Shit turned out to be a fucking Tiny Desk performance.
Right? I mean, with everything we got behind us, you would think. All right. Let's see. How do I?
It's a sick cover too, man.
Thank you. Shout out to Blaze for finessing the photo shoot for it and also doing like primarily all of the edits of the photo itself. I did a bit of the words and stuff, but also, I'm sorry, what's the name of your man who actually shot it too? I forgot.
Shout out to Keith, Pictures by Keith, another East Orange resident. You know what I'm saying?
Homegrown shit.
Know what I mean?
Homegrown shit. I'm about to send it to you right now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You got airdrop?
I do.
Nice.
That's funny as hell asking if niggas got airdrop like it's not built into the phone.
I forgot if you had an iPhone.
I got it. All right. So I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna say all of them real quick, and then we'll go through them. All right.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So you got Rushmore.
Boom.
DGIFU.
Yeah.
Humble Beginnings.
Yes, sir.
The Garden.
Woo.
Brimstone.
Yeah.
Speechless. Go Off.
Wow.
Should've flipped some shit
Levy's
right there.
Interlude. Is that right?
Levy's interlude, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's Levy.
Levy?
Levi,
We
I
still
think it's
trying to
Levi.
find out
Who
your
knows?
name.
Honestly, y'all could
Yo,
choose
my
it.
fault, bro. He dope as hell too, bro. Shout out to
We finished the song. We finished the song. We put out the album, and don't know how to pronounce his brother's name. He's the only producer outside of Jersey too.
yeah.
Shout out to Australia, Aussie, the Down Under.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
super real, bro. He
We
held
should
it.
get his pronunciation for
Yeah.
whatever future interviews. Out of
Yeah.
respect for
From
him,
Jersey,
though,
the down
'cause,
under of America.
With the respect is there though.
No pun
For sure.
intended. Get it right.
That was good.
That was the next track.
Next one is Hit Me Up.
Yeah.
The Basics.
Mm-hmm.
I got Brimstone on
All
here
right, so
again.
the first Brimstone was not supposed to be there. I don't know how that got through.
Okay. It's all good. See
not
You
in
Cry.
Ooh.
Starving Artist. And then Take Some Time.
Are you on?
So
You want?
I'm not gonna hold you. I can't remember every single song that I went through. But I felt the vibe of the album, obviously, right? And then
If you need us to do like a live performance of each one for every one that you bring up,
Tweaking.
we'll do
Hey
it.
yo, please.
if you saw
Stop entertaining us, man.
If you saw his face, bro. No need for that, unless But no need for that. No need for that. Unless. Talk to me about Rushmore. What was the idea behind that?
It all started with that's gonna be meta for people who
And we'll do like a kind of like a shortened version of each song. I don't want to. We'll say
Yeah.
deep dives for another time, but like, just tell me the basic idea for it, what it's like, message that you were trying to come across with it, and then we'll kind of go through that.
Firstly, shout out to Hit Drew and Twin for cooking that beat up. I got like a little co-production on like a breakdown and stuff, but like primarily Hit Drew and Twin smoked that beat. And the second that I heard that beat, he sent it to me originally just for me, and I was like, nah, this is an intro. And
Question: did you write that verse before even
No,
the group was a thing?
That verse was brought out of me by that beat, like during.
But I'm
the group.
saying you wrote it prior to
Nah,
the group.
during the group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that intro's fucking crazy. He has the first verse on it, which is why, like, I just remember him playing that verse, and I'm like, ouch, I don't know. That's one of those songs where it's like, damn, how do I, you know what I mean? Because you also don't, in a musical sense, you don't want to fuck up the experience of the listener to where it's like,
Also, context for the name, we had called it Rushmore because that was a working title for the project. Because it was four of us and there's four heads on Mount Rushmore, and they have like really great. Not the people on the actual Rushmore, but Rushmores usually have four greats in their respects.
Yeah, it's a hip hop conversation usually.
Yeah.
Like, who's in your Rushmore? But after two things. I like the title, but I had like a little bit of a feeling against it for myself because of the fact that the Rushmore Mountains is desecration of Native American lands.
yes, sir.
But we were talking. I think it was just me, you, and Jay that day though. We were chilling, and then you was like, "Man, it's already set in stone." And then like we both like turned around and looked at him like.
Well, we had actually said that I had said that set in stone after Naughty by Nature had called us on stage for their 30th anniversary for Hip Hop Array. Lots of Illtown shit. They had gave us chains too. And
Yeah. You can see them on the cover too.
We had just said like, after this shit, it's just set in stone. We're supposed to make it, and then we all kind of had a eureka moment. It was like, I bet.
Mm-hmm. That night was amazing.
Word.
That was so amazing to get on stage with Naughty by Nature. Like 30 years after their debut, it's just like that's the most hip hop shit I've ever experienced. And then, not to mention, A. Marie. You killed that set.
Don't get too lost in the sauce though. Let's get these.
My bad.
Let's move
It's hard not
on.
to think about that part.
Yo,
DG
Blaze need a ruler, bro. Like,
DGIFU.
You don't get it fucked up. That's what I mean.
Talk to me about that song.
We was just talking our shit. Oh, we actually came up with that another day. We was with Naughty by Nature. They were
virtual
doing,
performance.
they were doing a virtual performance in the metaverse. That sounds so fucking dystopian. But we were doing a live performance in the metaverse, and yeah, we were just playing instrumentals in the car. Funny enough, we had just met AZ right before we had started, right as we were writing that, and then we were just having fun with the hook, and we were just like, don't get it fucked up. And then
Really a legendary rap group.
yeah, and then that's how we got it. We were like, all right, so we came with the hook. We made a voice memo, and then
Shook
we
hands
linked
with
up in the
AZ and
studio.
then got in the BMW. Like,
Oh, yeah,
like
word.
how that shit sound though? Like,
Word. And then we had our fun with it. We just talked our shit. Don't get us fucked up.
yeah.
And that's how that one came about.
Yeah, that record's pretty fun, and I'm glad, like working with these people, like putting myself in situations and music that I normally wouldn't make. Like I don't feel like people would expect to hear my voice on a record like that.
Should we talking about the last part of the hook?
What about it? No.
Nah,
You
let
about to
it-
spoil it for
all
me.
right, cool.
Make sure you remember that. Make sure you remember that. Let's move on to The Garden.
Jersey
Let me Tell
anthem.
you about the.
That's a
great
Jersey
Prince.
anthem for sure.
That's
more
the
about
song
it?
we were referencing earlier in the interview as far as uniting New Jersey and making sure that everybody's on a united front. From North Jersey to Central Jersey to South Jersey, we all on the same team.
And
with
shout
the
out to
same
Solus
goal.
for like making that song really happen. Because I sent it to the group without intentions of like it being a record. I didn't know if I was gonna finish it myself or anything. And he was like, "Nah, this is it. I'm writing to it right now." And I was just like, I didn't even say all that, but let's hear what you got. Nah, he he smoked it, and then like after that, we still didn't talk about the record for a long time. Then we came back and he was like, "Nah, but what about that record? What about that record?" He was like so like adamant about it.
I loved it, bro.
And
I
it ended
loved
up
it.
being one of the greatest records on the project. So thank God for him.
Yeah, I'll call that like the NJ State of Mind type track.
Yeah.
And I think I skipped this one. Humble Beginnings.
Yeah, we put that one out before. So like
That's
that,
what brought us together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of just
That
a
was
ode to the
Sanford.
fans.
That was our humble beginning.
Yeah. Word, actually.
That's actually pretty dope. That's actually the first song we made together.
Word.
That's fire.
Well, the history books is gonna be tough on
Set in
that one.
stone.
That's fire.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about Speechless.
That song is.
That was an
Damn,
oxymoron. I was gonna be silent. Damn, so
It's cool though. It's cool though. 'Cause I was just about to say like nothing at all. But go ahead, yo, Solus, go ahead, break it down, bro.
Nah, that song is old as dirt, bro.
yeah, that was like 17?
19. So
2019.
prior to the group, like we all knew each other, but I know that we always had talks between each other of like, yo, we should all drop projects together. Like me, Samad,
Like in
me, Jay
pairs.
Wonder, Jay Wonder, him, Blaze. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
At one point,
And-
I had an EP coming out with Jay Wonder and an EP coming out with him, and we literally
We were always in talks about doing the
Yeah.
EP.
so that
together.
conversation was
together.
always in the mix. And I remember we scheduled a session to start ours, and that was the one song we ever did. But it got pushed into the closet and freaking didn't resurface until
I had to see
till
like
recently.
Are you saying the song came out the closet?
oh my god.
When I said it, I seen it coming. I'm not gonna. Hey, yo.
Oh. All right.
But go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
should have dropped that in June. I don't know.
Yeah, but
No, I was gonna say
God.
like seeing Blaze's reaction and Jay's reaction to Speechless, like after we played it during the group session, I was like, okay, maybe we got something here. But I like it was so long ago, I fell out of love with it. I had to
Yeah,
like,
I did too. I'm not gonna lie.
I updated the drums and everything, like for the, I don't know if you noticed that, but like I made
You
this shit
did?
sound different.
It did sound more live,
Yeah.
but yeah, Blaze came through and set the fire back up on that one for sure, for sure. Yo, bro, I love the way you came on that track.
I appreciate you
Oh
because
my
y'all was wild, and I'm like,
Yeah, he really embodied some like 90s
Fire for that.
energy.
You
Yeah,
wild.
Speechless is dope.
So talk to me then about Go Off.
Yo, shout out Trendsetter Trey for that beat.
It's
What?
Trey in his house.
Whoa, Montclair in the building. You feel
Yes,
me? Whoa.
sir.
Trey had actually sent me that instrumental, and you could tell, like anybody who knows Blaze songs, they could tell that was a really Blaze-esque beat.
Sounded like the middle part of
But I
Sanford.
was like, let me just toss it into consideration for the group. And I don't remember how exactly it went down, but for somehow everybody. Okay, well, go ahead, take it away. Tell them.
I literally, you played the beat, and I just heard the synth, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And then as soon as the beat came in, I'm like, nah, we're doing it right now. And I immediately threw on the woo, 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 and
Oh, it's
did
one of
that
those
whole
hype
hook.
cookups. It was just the momentum. Everybody was just gassed
And then
off
I did the go
yeah.
off shit. You was like, yo, that shit's tough. And I'm like, bro, let's start writing. And Blaze and I had our verse done like, that was the fastest I ever wrote.
I blinked and it was recorded and mixed.
Like shit was like a good like hour. Then it took some time for Solus and Ja.
That's one of
Jay
those
wanted
tracks
them.
where they're like, all right, guys, here's the beat for this going on
Oh,
the
yeah.
album. And they
Yes.
play the record and you're like,
Yes.
nah, you're bugging.
I knew what I was doing that time.
Yeah.
At that time, I was like, oh, this is gonna be.
Yep, bro. That song, no joke. I was literally about to say like I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm glad I stuck it through, and I'm gonna say like sonically, my verse personally, in my opinion, wasn't the most. This is from an honest opinion. I'm not.
Nah, I hear you though. I hear you.
I think my verse may be the least
Aesthetic?
sonically pleasing, but lyrically, if you hear it, maybe lyrically pleasing. I think you hear it at first and you're like, oh, he's just rapping to keep up. But if you break it down a little more, it's like, oh, okay, he was really saying something. You know what I mean? But bro,
I think on paper, your
him,
shit was the crazy.
Blaze, J Wonder,
They're literally they're gonna
bro.
hear their album after
Spaz.
this interview drops, and then like be in the comment section, and that's gonna be like half the comment section.
Nah, they
Like, this nigga's
spaz don't go
tripping.
off.
The goal on that song was literally to go off, so everybody was just
yeah, they were Super
wilding.
Saiyan, bro. I was trying
It's
to
just
keep
wild.
up.
It's a fun record, and I could see it going on. I'm not really crazy on challenges, but I could see that being like an empty verse challenge because the beat is so fun. Trey just has this certain
got a
bounce to his
yeah.
beats. Like it's so rhythmic and it's so infectious. Like you hear it, you just like. You ready to blow the subwoofer out your car, replace it the next day, and blow that one out right after listening to his shit. So
Yeah, go off crazy.
yeah.
Sick. My bad. I was just really enjoying you guys like talking that shit. Cause I don't know. It's like seeing you guys interact, bro. Like I could just imagine how it was in the studio. We will get to that. Let's get through this because I got some questions I gotta ask. Levy's interlude.
That song, my boy, I'm gonna just call him L right now because I don't know how to pronounce his name. But once I get the pronunciation, I'm gonna blow his name up. But yeah, L sent me the beat a while ago, and I just remember thinking this shit is crazy. Like the way the production is on that one, I just found it. It's not something that I would usually rap on because it has more of a hard street feel to it. And
like
I feel
street
like
boom bap. It's like real
Yeah, like
cusp of 90s into 2000s.
yeah, like I feel like you
hip-hop
need a
kinda.
Jay or Blaze type voice to really hit it right. You know what I mean? So I remember sitting on it, and the minute I was able to finally get a verse on, I just started thinking of different names that I wanted on the track. It was originally gonna be for my own project, but once we was working on this project, I wrote my verse. I was like, I could so hear Blaze on this, and I was like, yo, see what you could do to
Yo,
this.
he sent me that record, and I was fucking
Bro,
flabbergasted, bro.
Didn't you just send me the verse back like?
I wrote that
within-
shit on work because so I had just started working in TV and film, and I was working on Raising Kanan season 3, and he had sent it to me on my break, and I was about to lose my shit. Mind you, I was hungry as hell. What? I went to the side and wrote that verse during my lunch break, and I sent him the voice memo, I think, later that night when I finally got the chance to sit down, because I was just like, yo,
Completed
what? This
verse
is
on a voice
fucking
note.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I said it with the same essence in the way I would have recorded and everything, and he just gassed me up. You know, anytime Solus tell me some shit, like, I'll be like, oh, I tweet because this
Nah,
nigga be
the way
wildin'.
the way his verse starts on that song is probably like the hardest bars I've ever heard. When you start
He
a
tell you
track,
that
like
every
I've never
time.
heard a verse come in that way. That
So
shit
like
was
he became a giant and just like ripped the roof off of your house and started rapping this shit to you.
yeah, bro. That shit is crazy.
A lot of imagery. Painting
Shout out, I'm gonna say Levy. Shout out
remember-
Levy for that one.
I literally remember the day that I recorded that. Because after Solus did that verse, I'm like, yo, this is what we talking about, bro. Solus is just, he just be doing that. And then Blaze like, yeah, I got a verse. And I'm like, I ain't doubt him or anything, but I was just like, all right, that shit better be nice. Bro.
Yeah,
he
nah,
rapped it, and I think you only did it in 2 takes, but both of those takes was 1 take, and the only difference was I was like,
One take shorty.
yeah, I was like, rap that shit just a little harder. And that second take, I was bamboozled. I was flabbergasted.
That's a good thing too about the group. It's like genuine love for the product. It's like
Yeah.
because Samad or Jay Wonder was not on that track, but they hear it and they're like, "Yo, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?" It's not like, "Oh, that's a cool track."
The
And
way
it's
I showed
not-
it to my wife, they're coming.
Sure.
They're coming. Is that gonna be too crazy? Oh, all right, cool.
That's whatever.
Yeah, when I showed it to my wife, I don't think she even understood because like she's not like a crazy hip hop head or anything like that. She just likes music. I played that shit for her in the car, and like I kid you not, I'm blasting it and just looking at her and her pregnant face at the time, and I'm just like, you hear this shit? Yo, like, he said the soulless eclipse. He took the gun and let the story begin. What? And she's just like, okay. What I'm saying is, if you're a hip hop head that like really loves some like hard dope hip hop, like put it right into the veins.
That's like the epitome, for real.
Talk to me about Get It Right.
That started off as a Jay Wonder and Samad Savage song. And it was so dope and became everybody's favorite record to the point where like we don't want to have it be too long. And then Blaze and Solus were like, all right, we'll just split a verse, and that's how it came about. But we Jay and I were sitting on that record since 2019. That was another old one.
That's wild.
Yeah. Once again, I updated the drums and made it sound like, you know, like it could fit in today's times. But I remember Jay's reaction to that verse. I mean, not the verse, the beat. He was like, nah, we need to do this. And then he came up with this time to get it right. Like, I didn't even have the beginning hook on there. And I'm like, that sounds good, but that sounds like way more like a refrain. And then I did, you'll hear the hook. And it was like only a last minute idea to have the bridge go back into the hook the way it did. But the reason we did that was because I had the first verse and it just went in that way. And then we were like, nah, we need to bring that shit back. But it's a beautiful record. I think that's my like...
That's one of my favorites, honestly.
It's one of my candidates for like the next single.
Yeah, that's one where I was playing it for my pops. He was like, bro, this shit needs to be on the radio. Like, that's one of those records. And I remember y'all playing the song, and I looked at Blaze like, bro, you gonna miss out on this bag? Bro, no joke. I don't care about money, but I was like, nah, bro, this a bag.
You don't care about money, but you're not stupid.
We got it.
Yeah, bro. I was like, nope. I need to do ad-libs or something. I need credits.
Give me 3%. You know what I mean?
That's
But
funny.
Yeah.
But no, any songs that have our voices on it, regardless how long the verse is, we all split equally.
So
Yeah.
so then talk to me about Hit Me Up.
Hit Me Up, another older one. I think that one was done in like 2020, like before the
The group's
happening.
formation.
Yeah. And how did that one come about? Oh, Jay just had the hook on Rip. He heard the beat and the beat wasn't even done. He was like, nah, bro, I gotta do this. Which that is probably my second favorite hook on the project. It's just so smooth. So he did that. He did the verse, and I'm like, I'm not about to let him just do this song by himself. It's too good. And then I had to throw my verse on there. But yeah, that's not too much of that story. That one's for the ladies.
Sick.
It's a personal favorite for me too. I'm not gonna stunt. I love
Word?
that song.
Word. I ain't gonna do
My
that.
girl loves that song too. I
Yo.
played it for her yesterday. She was like, "Yo, I love this record."
Nice.
The Basics.
We literally were playing the album and like listening to it for the final mix and was like, okay, this section is definitely the Jay Wonder run. Because most of these ideas at this point is like coming from him and stuff. And the basics he had, that was when we were trying to do our collab tape. And then Blaze just heard it over and over again and was like, nah. Came
Whoa.
through.
Whoa.
Came through, smoked the verse. We had some stipulations about like how the beat went at first, but now it's perfect. And the version that you're getting of it, you're gonna love.
Brimstone.
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Wait, didn't we talk about it earlier? When
Yeah,
he said it?
this one's a little sweet and sour for me.
We didn't fully talk about
Oh,
the
go
song.
ahead. Do this one.
Yeah, Brimstone's
Well,
a
y'all
little
gonna
sweet
hear it
and
twice.
sour. We there was an original beat that somebody has sent me, and that's where I started Brimstone. And bro, the verse for me that like as the listener hears the record, they have to take into account like I was literally doing everything I said as I was doing it. So as you're hearing the song and you're hearing about me having to go to therapy and hop on the bus and I'm broke as hell and like, bro, literally it happened in sequence as I was writing it. So that makes that song super special for me. You know what I mean? And I didn't know what to do with it after I did my verse. So I remember just thinking like, yo, this is a perfect opportunity because it still had mad space, and I got 3 other dudes with me that, you know what I mean, are ill. So I'm ready to send it to him. Sent it to him. I was cool with the person who had sent me the beat. Well, I am cool. I am cool with the guy who sent me the beat. And I was off the impression that we could use it, you know what I mean, for the project. So they wrote their verses, and bro, I fell in love with this record. Like it probably would have been one of my favorites, you know what I mean, with that beat that was on it.
That shit was raw.
Yeah, bro, so ill. So it was hip hop, but it was also very like, I don't know, just clean. And when it came down to crunch time, find out that my boy wasn't the one who produced it. So it was another producer. So I had to go contact that dude, and I don't even know him. And he just wouldn't let us, you know, split it.
No matter how we broke it down, we even offered him a bigger percentage than like you could imagine of the record, saying like, yo, we are an up and coming group. Our lead single is Humble Beginnings. Help us. And he was just like, nah, man. And then, like, it's crazy because we probably would have just came up with the money and did it. But I had a personal vendetta against him once he said, I don't even make beats anymore because so this beat is worth so much more because I don't make beats anymore. And I'm like, why would I work with you knowing that you don't take your art seriously? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I pitched it to the guys. We did the other beat, had a lot of revisions and stuff. And in my opinion, for the album sound and where it sits on the album, I think it sounds very beautiful, and anybody who hasn't heard the other version wouldn't even like think about that. But who knows? Somebody might mysteriously leak the record one day. Who knows?
The original version?
Yeah.
It'd be
That would be, oh my gosh, that would be terrible.
For sure. Nah, but I think I was just very attached to how the first verse went down. Like how I written my verse, I think I was so attached to that moment, so attached to the beat that it was just so hard for me to like.
I didn't even know the meaning of the
it.
title until like way after this. We was working on the cover art after the album was done and uploaded. And he told me like, yeah, no, brimstone and watu, that's like from the Bible, and it's about hell, and it's about how like life can sometimes be hell on earth. And I'm like, dude, I was just singing about the struggle on the chorus. I didn't even know it was that deep.
Yeah, because it was originally the brimstone. Like, well, in the hook, it's brimstone and watu comes from a indigenous Caribbean language, and it means fire. So it's brimstone and fire, or how do they say it in the Bible? It's brimstone and something along those lines. But it's basically a description of hell. You know what I mean? So using that play and using, you know what I mean, another word to kind of like introduce new ideologies, new things, new ideas, you know. So I love the record. He didn't even know what it meant, but he was still, I felt like it fit perfectly regardless. Yeah. I think you could just feel it, you know what I mean? You don't have to understand the words to feel where somebody's going with the record.
Word. I'm just sorry. I'm just really excited because I'm thinking at the same time about like listening to these songs and re-listening to this, and just also thinking about the reels that are gonna come out of this as well. Like, you know, like attaching the music to this. I'm like really excited because, man, I'm angry. I'm kind of little angry at you a little bit because because you were like you when you DM, you're like, oh, I don't know if you sent it to me last night or not.
Yeah, I was supposed to. I didn't send it to you last night. I was supposed to. I would have listened to it. Don't trust anybody with ADHD because I copied the link from Dropbox, went back to the DM, and then I think the baby started crying. And then that was the end of that.
I got it.
Aiden owes us reparations.
Yes.
Yo, you should have just hit me up, bro. I would have hit you with the link.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was a group.
Part of it.
I didn't even know how many likes to bring.
But high key, I mean, the only thing that I would have changed is I wanted you to hear it at least the night before. But the closer to the interview that you heard it, the better for me, because I wanted to get, once again, this is this guy's authentic, genuine reaction. You can't pay for this. This is just what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited to re-listen to it for sure again. Like I'm super excited because I feel like I said, listening to throughout this too, and like remembering all the little pieces now. Because it's funny because actually, when you sent me another project before a long time ago, and it was the one that you dropped with Drewski.
Oh yeah.
When you sent me that, like I kind of listened to it as like it's fun. I don't have too many people sending me a project and it's just like one big piece. You know what I mean? I don't really get that too often. So I get to listen to the one, and then like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'll listen to that. I'll listen to that song.
It's an experience.
But it's like, you know, you just go through the whole thing. So, but let's get these songs done because we're almost here at the end of at least the track list. See You Cry.
Who want to start that one off? I remember it, but.
Who brought that beat to the table?
Jay Wonder. I don't know if it's his cousin.
Typical.
But yeah, he brought this amazing. Yeah, he No disrespect to all of us, but I think his beat selection is absolutely insane.
Bananas.
It's been something that we've always been like.
Better be
where
that
do you
nigga
get
drop
these-
a project every week.
Yeah. So he came to us with the beat, and I'm like, we don't have a storytelling record on this album yet, and I feel like we got to show how nice we are in every way. What?
I see what you mean. Okay, my fault.
No, I mean like a story, not
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
story of our lives. Like, yeah, of course we're storytellers, but like we don't have like a story, like a storyline that we all rapped continuously. So yes, I was like, yo, we came up with the idea of the story and what each person's verses was like, the roles that we was gonna play.
Hold up, wait. I'm sorry to cut, but just to refresh, like, wasn't it Blaze that
He started it off.
Yeah, but that was prior conversation, no?
That is true. We had like
Yeah,
a bare
that's-
conversation about like it wasn't even fully formulated.
Yeah, you can't butcher that story,
You
bro.
can't
'cause
you can't ask Blaze, you can't tell Blaze the kind of verse that he's gonna write, or like you can't give him any preparation, because the second he finds out, that verse is gonna get done in like his verse was like 72 bars and got done in like 15 minutes.
No, because the crazy thing is, was the beat originally named "See You Cry"?
Yeah, we just a sample.
So, bro, I remember it, to my recollection, right? Blaze, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I just remember the beat playing, and prior to even having the message planned out, Blaze being like, "Yo, bro, this is exactly how I feel right now. Like, I got this." Like, and he just kind of like took it in his own hands. And I never seen Blaze so focused, bro. Like,
and not in a crying way, but the emotion that he put into that verse.
nah, that shit was crazy.
Let me tell it real quick.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
See You Cry was a very interesting experience for me, and I feel as though set the tone for the rest of the record, because I had tapped into a part of my life where it wasn't necessarily verbatim from me, but I pulled a lot of inspiration from stuff that I went through. And, you know, my early on relationships in my life were pretty, not traumatic because that sounds extreme, but for lack of better words, like I learned a lot of things. I had learned a lot of personal growth, problem solving, being solution oriented. And in my verse, I kind of just talked about how I was in a relationship with a girl and she lacked communication. And, you know, on top of me doing what I did and she doing what she did, the communication wasn't there. And long story short, I was just pretty much saying, no matter how much we be doing this to each other, the last thing I ever want to do is see you cry. You get what I'm saying? And
that last part was crazy.
from that perspective, it was just like we kind of all just wrote about different relationships with that said girl. So it's as if I was the boyfriend to the situation. He wrote from like Solus wrote from like the perspective of the brother from the girl. Samad wrote from the perspective of being a kid of
The girl.
of the girl, and you know, hypothetically me, because like I said, I was just using me for inspiration. It wasn't necessarily
Jay as the
any of
mother.
our stories.
Yeah, and Jay was
wrote
the
from the
mother.
perspective of that same girl,
Which,
but
for a
older.
mother, he got the deepest voice I ever heard.
Oh my
I'm
god,
sitting in the hospital with the C-section. Don't give me lip, little boy.
it was a really good
My mama
record.
loves you.
And yeah. I usually skip over that track sometimes because
Yeah, I'm not
gonna lie
to you.
mindset.
Yeah,
So
that shit hurt.
Nah, bro, that
Yeah.
record to me is one of my favorites in terms of storytelling, because I feel like
We all pulled from a real place too. Like his was a lot more direct, but a lot of the things that I said is feelings that I remember having simply because I didn't see my mom and my father together.
But you see, that's what I think makes the record so dope, because like, what is the thing that makes you not see your mom and pops together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's that story that Blaze started off with. You know what I mean?
Not exactly. My mom was
Bro.
loyal to the soil.
Huh?
I said not exactly. My mom was loyal to the soil. There's
No,
like,
no. Not
I
in
get
that
what you're
sense.
saying.
Not in that sense.
Yeah. But arguments and like bad
But, like,
relationships that lead to these kind
Come
of
on,
things.
like when Blaze was when Blaze said some shit like you cheated and I cheated, but I cheated even more
I
because
always feel the need to go and even up the score.
like, bro, like, where does that mentality come from? Like, personally, for me, when I hear the record, maybe it's because I wrote from the perspective of a brother and I have 3 sisters.
Word.
It's like, am I listening to the things that cause certain families not to be stable? The thing that I would say, like, from the man's perspective, like, what do we do that fucks everything up? You know what I mean? Like, how do we play this big role of like destroying? You know, I don't want to say toxic masculinity. I don't like that word at all, but it's kind of like those things, like our downfalls as men. Because even in my verse where I was saying,
I loved his verse so much. Not even to cut you off. I gotta give Solus his props because
I got sisters and I was like,
yep. In See You Cry, like I said, he wrote from the perspective of the brother, and I have a sister too, so this verse fucked my head up because he started off very defensive of his sister, like pretty much just saying like, yo, I'll whoop this nigga's ass. And then halfway through his verse, you see him start realizing, and funny enough, you know, not to sound bad, but sympathizing with the perspective I wrote from, because he's like, yo, I remember being that young and I remember my mindset. And it's like, damn, through ready to go to war over your sister, you realize that I exhibited those same traits. And who knows what damage I might have done to somebody else's sister. You get what I'm saying? Speaking like from his perspective, it was just like, damn, it was kind of like an ego death in the midst of you coming to. You gotta hear that record, bro. That shit is crazy.
The story, the way everything connects. I even love the fact that Samad goes last, because that's kind of like, to me, the ribbon on it. It's like
the
all these
of all of
actions of what our masculinity has done leads to the child who feels the way that Samad felt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At least in my eyes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I felt like we all pulled from different stories and we didn't intend for that wrap up, but it's kind of like we all wrote our perspectives, and then at the end you're like, oh shit, we see what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That record is special for sure.
I was definitely, that's my prime candidate for music videos. I feel like that one we got to prioritize, because that being seen is going to do something else for somebody.
Agreed. Yeah. But yeah, now we on the last record, right?
We are at Starving Artist.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Damn, are you even listening?
Go ahead.
That one's quick. That one was pretty dope. The session was.
We talked about that already.
Yeah.
That's the one that
he really
came
incorporated.
Together and
he really incorporated all the styles that we were listening to at the time, and like really made.
Well, he actually asked what our favorite genres were.
Favorite genres. It was really favorite songs.
Yeah, it was a song. He was like, "Yo, pick
what's your favorite songs
song
of all time?"
Oh, okay.
I said pick one, but we all, well, not even all. All of y'all. I know my definitive answer. But y'all pick a lot of y'all favorite shit. Mine was Promiscuous Girl by Timbaland. And I did have a second one. Sing to the Moon, the Snarky Puppy version. And Jay Wonders was a song by Aaliyah, and Cranes in the Sky by Solange.
What was yours, Blaze?
Shit, I don't know.
You don't remember yours? I don't even remember yours.
I could tell you the genres. I know I pitched in rock and alternative.
Yes.
That's what it was, yeah.
Mine was it was by
New Cat. This is like this new
mine?
Latin artist, yeah.
He called this the Cat.
I played a Latin record, but the one song I told you was like the one I was listening to at that time when we were playing those records. It was by a group called the Garifuna Collective.
It was a guy. It was one light skinned.
Oh, you talking about 6ix9ine?
No, not at all. That's crazy.
Hold up, I want to give these people shine. It was the Garifuna Collective, and the song was called Gagamba Diba. And that was the record that I put for him. But I think the guy that you're talking about that I played the Latin record was Raul.
Yes.
Yeah, Raul Alejandro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know him, right?
I think I know. He's the Argentinian?
Nah, hell no. Bori.
He's Boricua?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about...
and that hell no was kind of
like... I'm thinking about the wrong person, then my bad.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're not going to be touring there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, nah, it's cool. We love Argentina.
Nah, he Bori, so I gotta give a strong ass hell no.
No, I got you. No, Puerto Ricans be wild with that. You can't be fucking with Puerto Rican like that,
the one that was with Rosalia.
Yes.
I love that artist. I can't say his name. Let me say her name like he just said her name.
They just broke up though.
Yeah. But just to give you the idea of who he was.
Rosalia.
Somebody's having a moment.
Don't get me started on Rosalia, bro. Because Rosalia, I thought you were talking about my bad, some Latino things here real quick.
I don't even know what she looks like.
Rosalia's ex,
not even looks.
Before that Rao guy, I don't know. I think he's from Argentina. Anyway, that's what I thought you were talking about.
That's crazy.
I think about Rosalia's ex. Yeah, it's crazy.
Nah.
You know what else Americans can't say? Nicaragua. It sounds terrible when we say it.
Nicaragua?
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Yes, that's how it's supposed to be said. That sounds beautiful. When you say it sounds like a racial slur immediately.
I was going to try to say it in an English accent. I don't want to say it in a Latino accent. Can't get canceled this quick into my career. All right. With that being said, last one on the whole album. Take Some Time.
So I actually shout out to McKaylee. That's her tag. That shit is fire. McKaylee actually sent me that beat a long time ago, And hold on, cause I got Jay Wonder here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, hold on. Hopefully he pops up. But yeah, so McKaylee sent me this time, this song, and we were supposed to be doing Yo, Jay, say what's good, man.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
I don't know if y'all can see him, you feel me? But like, yeah. Anyway, yo, we talking about the last record, Take Some Time, right? And I was saying how McKaylee sent me the instrumental because me and her was supposed to be doing a group project. And then you had came over to my house once. Jay had came over to my crib and we was just chopping it up. And I'm like, yo, I got this song. I need a hook though. And then, you know, Jay, he went to the session. He sent me some shit the day after. He was like, take some time. I'm like, damn, this shit fire. I was like, ooh, you feel me? But nah, that shit was fire. And yeah, I was never able to write a verse to that shit yet. And then I presented it to the group and everybody was just like, damn. Yo, Jay, you ain't get to say nothing this whole time. You wanna say something?
I just want to say that I'm honored to be a part of this group, and it was amazing, like an amazing experience. It took a little while because of like the time between all of us, but
No pun intended.
yeah, exactly. But it was worth it. It was real worth it. And shout out to all the producers. Shouts out to obviously Samad for engineering the whole project. It's amazing. I can't stop listening to it. I listen to it like ever since everything was done. I've been listening to it. So, but I just want to say, like, I love all of y'all. I love my brothers. I appreciate y'all like having me a part of this, man. It was an honor. And shouts out to all the fans, and shouts out to hip hop, man.
You know what I mean?
Talk.
Happy
That's a
birthday.
fact.
Yes, sir.
I feel like that was perfect.
Yeah.
That shout out to hip hop.
Yeah.
Also, man, we working on this Tylenol sponsorship, man.
Oh
He
my
talking about your
God.
headache. He's been on your ass. Oh my gosh. But nah,
We gonna talk later about what happened, but like it's a long story. But I love y'all.
love you
Alright, we
too,
love you
man.
too,
bro.
What's happening
Bro.
with you? Peace. But yeah, we made that record, and I don't, you know, I'm gonna let one of y'all take it away. That was just how the record started about. I had submitted the beat, we had the hook, me and Jay had the hook, and then
That was one of my favorite sessions.
I feel like that was like one of the like for me, that's something that even outside of the group, that would have been a beat that I would have went on. Like
the beat is just so
Outside of-
warm and nostalgic. It's just, I don't know how to
yeah, and
describe it.
the way Jay wanted to put the hook on it, that shit was just perfect. Like it felt like it's just one of those records that it just like, it's almost as if like that shit was written before it was just so natural. At least for me during the writing process, I'm like, bro, this is so me. Like even at that time, even with the hook, like what I needed, it just fit
That was
perfectly.
like the one time that I wasn't trying to compete writing with y'all. I always like had in the back of my head like, yo, I got to be as nice as him. I always got to keep up. I can't slack. But like on that one, I remember the beat just playing and we were all just sitting down and writing, and it was just like it felt beautiful. I don't know if I lit an incense, but I felt like I did.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that that's kind of like the last song too. I feel like that played out so perfect.
Perfect goodbye.
But I'm also mad because that's literally one of my favorite records.
Oh,
if
you hope
not,
people get to it?
yeah, like I hope people stick through to like actually.
The people who
Well, if you
deserve
listen to the
hear that
album in
will get
reverse.
to-
No, what?
Oh shit.
And it's not that it's an album that you can't listen to straight through, but you know,
your favorites,
people's
yeah.
minds today, they can't really sit through shit like that. But I hope they could make it to that last song.
The only thing I ask is everybody listen to it all the way through at least once. Even if there's a song that
In
you're...
order, please.
Yes. Oh, God. Turn off your shuffle. For the love of God, please turn off your shuffle. If you don't,
I don't know why people do that.
cast a spell that will send me through your speakers to choke the shit out of you. So, please.
That sounds like a pretty affordable way for a meet and greet.
So, fellas, we're fully through the album. Thank you for all that. I can't wait to kind of listen back to that and like really listen to like your guys' thoughts about each track and stuff. Hopefully, at one point, maybe like once the project is dropped and this is out too, if you guys want at any point, we could kind of do like a full just album review and like, you know, go down on your. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean like go
Whoa.
down on your music, but
Whoa.
like, you know, like get into your
Mad.
get it.
Yo.
I hear you.
My bad. That's me.
Hey, man, we can do whatever you trying to do. You know?
I did. I did
Samad
have
speaks for
a
itself.
couple more questions for you guys though, because I was interested in a group kind of collective. I feel like each one of you, especially working on the project this long and working with these many songs, what are your guys's you think like your best attributes that you see from each other? Like who's like Like, for example, like if this guy's like the beat cooker or this guy's this and that, like which role do kind of each of you bring to the collective?
I'm the
That's so funny.
sexiest. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
bet.
you know, there's that.
You need one. You need one.
I don't know what y'all are, but I'm the sexiest. You feel me?
Man, I'm crying. I'm the visionary. For sure, through and through.
Yeah, I don't know why, bro. I always tell people this. I'm like, yo, Blaze is like the rock star. I don't know why, bro. I always see Blaze as like some type of rock star.
I be feeling like it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for sure. I'm the one who's gonna go against the grain and be like, fuck it, for the better good though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I play by my own rules. So.
I think what's dope for me, at least being in the group, is the fact that they let me introduce new things. Like, for instance, Brimstone and Watu. It's like, yo, they don't know what the fuck Watu mean, but it's like they trust me enough, and it sounds good enough for them to be like, you know, we're gonna rock with it, and then they'll ask me questions later. You know what
That's
I mean?
because he's the soul, man.
Even adding like Spanish elements in certain tracks, like Starving Artist actually has in the background a Spanish hook in the back, and then Rushmore, like, you know what I mean? They let me bring in the Latin flavor and let me rock with that. You know what I mean? And they don't. Oh, we can't because it's most likely
The
going to be like demographic and this and that.
Nah.
It's like, nah, like
Spanish culture is extremely important in hip hop to the point where to this day,
Latin American.
top
Latin
5
American.
Big Pun.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And Latin American, but like also like nah, like
I'm
you
just
were
being
I was saying
hard on words.
You were showing me some shit like from the 90s that was like very hip hop esque. That was from like outside of America too. I feel like we're really united as a culture.
Yeah, I'm just emphasizing Latin American.
Look, we're trying to get this Nori interview. No, I'm joking.
That should be hard though. Nori's somebody who actually embraced his Hispanic side and actually tried to
took the
bring.
risk.
Yeah, he
was
took the
first.
risk for real. Like he was the first person to ever do that. So shit, an interview with him would be fire.
Sorry, Nori, I don't drink.
I'll take his shots.
I'm taking all of them.
So, is there any plans is there anything that has been shot yet, like video wise, music video wise? Do you guys have plans for that at all?
That's the only question I don't feel like we should answer publicly yet.
Where that's funny. I was thinking that too. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get the
We
drop
only
yet.
have humble beginnings. That's it.
Damn. Just
But we
kick
said
the
that,
mysteriousness
though.
out of
What
like
do you
everything,
mean?
bro.
What do you
Damn.
He act like he ain't mentioned Revolt TV. Like
Yeah, but like we're not supposed to let them know what's in the chamber. They just supposed to think the gun is loaded, so they scared, you know.
It's
got
whatever.
him. They ain't no humble beginnings.
So humble beginners never drop now. Like. Damn, yo. Well, if we being that honest, then a little more than half of the project was done a week before it came out, and then we finished it, and it sounds as glorious as it does. So with whatever little time we have left now, and then coming to the time of promotion and whatnot, just know that we can make shit happen at the drop of a dime. The Humble Beginnings video was done within a day or two, a weekend. Yeah, so no matter how much y'all may think like, oh, what do they got in the chamber? Is they gonna keep it up? It's really as simple as like saying like, let's do it, and it's gonna get done. So, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa. All that. Jersey.
It's good.
I'm sorry, why you get up like that?
That's
It
what
was
I
like
was
mad,
for, and
and
I'm
I was
like,
just like,
I was like, you about to ask some shit.
My bad. I'm not gonna ask some shit. I was just gonna say we're coming pretty close to the end of the podcast, but I wanted to let the floor be open to you guys. If there's anything that we didn't get to yet that you wanted to talk about, or you feel like we didn't harp on enough, or if you want to bring anything back up, now would be the time to do that. I'm gonna put the ball in your guys' courts. Anything off the top.
just once again, I want to say once again that I have no doubt in my heart that we are the greatest rap group of all time.
Fact.
Standing on that.
There's a lot of people that we're inspired by. There's people who we wouldn't be able to do this without to get where we're at. But just if you want to argue against it, listen to the album.
And no disrespect to Naughty by Nature, because those are OGs and everything. But respectfully.
But they would want us to talk our shit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be talked regardless.
Yeah.
That's the sport.
Yeah.
But we do this. We doing
And if
this.
they want to battle, nah.
Meet us in the metaverse. It's like, nah, but what? Can you imagine?
Trash just let a pen float to his hand like.
That'd be fire though. That'd be real fire.
Nah, this group to me, it definitely is a super group, and that's not even a flex. It's not because we're part of the group. We really saying it because we really are.
Because we are the superior race. That's not where you were going with that?
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
my
lightest
bad.
member in the group. The lightest member in the group going with that.
Yeah, right.
Let me tell you.
That's a setup. That is a setup.
Nah, it really is a super group. You know what I mean? There's comedy, there's lyricism, there's 90s roots, you know what I mean? We have the melodies, we got it's everything that you can embody in music, which I think was a problem with a lot of hip hop rap groups, is like keeping it so hip hop.
I'm sorry, I was just saying I would replace 90s roots with culture. I feel like we have a deeper understanding of the culture and appreciation of the culture.
There's so many elements in it that you just can't. It's literally a super group. Like if you listen to hip hop groups, phenomenal, but how musical does it get? You know what I mean? Like, is it so hip hop that you could only play it in certain settings, or is it so melodic you could only play it in certain settings? Or this thing has everything. It has every element of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the bars to the melodies to the hooks to the verses to the styles to the personalities. I don't even think when you look at music, the music industry, you have the type of personalities that you see in this group. Personally, for me, I don't see it. You know what I mean? And and if it is, it's not in the forefront, and it's not getting shine.
Honestly, I'm just like in my head, like I'm just waiting for y'all to, to catch up, because like we're really onto something that's so sincere and authentic that it's impossible for it to lose. I pray too hard for it to lose, and we work too hard for it to lose. So, whenever you ready to catch on, don't be too late. Don't wait until your friend's showing you and you're like, oh yeah, I watched the interview, but I didn't. Like, nah. Like, be the person that everybody is gonna be like, nah, he said it first, because this shit is. I mean, I don't think there's nothing more to say.
It's that thing.
The point has been made.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure you wash your ass if you're watching this.
Anyway, you already know Cornerstone shit. New Jersey, born and raised. You know what I'm saying? What niggas talking about?
Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for coming onto the podcast. It's been a while for me, and it's been a minute. And I know we did some talking before. I was telling you, it's been a minute since I was doing this, and this was like super freaking refreshing. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
J1, we have to run it back at some point where he could be here, because I don't know. Apparently, like
Can
brains
you just,
be.
put a cut out of his head, like right here?
Yeah, of course.
It's just like a giant floating head.
J1,
There you go. Nice.
right there, right here, right here.
Smack his nose.
Yeah. Watch this. Covering all their faces. I only interviewed J1 did today. All three of them. But guys,
J1, the group.
thank you so much. Please let the people know. That's a good one.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, you might have did something with that. You might have did something with that.
I need 20%.
Please let the people know where they can find you, your Instagrams, your social medias, whatever. Any shout outs that you have, anything that you need to let the people know. Now is the time to do it. We'll start with Solus.
The IG at _ I am Solus, IAMSOLIS.
Oh, I forgot I was here. Just blending in with the couch. My name is Samad Savage. That's SAMAD SAVAGE. But fuck all that. Make sure y'all go follow the real Cornerstones on IG and Cornerstones NJ on Twitter to be updated with all of our shows, our videos, and moves in general. And whenever the next project is coming.
Yeah, and it's your boy Blaze the Rebel. You feel me?
You can follow me at Blaze the Rebel. You feel me? Spelled regular, not DATHE. You feel me? And make sure you follow the Cornerstones. Make sure y'all follow this legendary group and stay here for the journey. I mean, it's gonna be great. All that. Bow.
Yeah, we better than that group you just thought of too. Just want to put that out there.
Oh shit. I were.
And guys, y'all already know the business. AOCHO Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Actually lied. AOCHO Studios now on Instagram.
Studios.
AOCHO Podcast for the all podcasts on YouTube. And then we'll be starting our new YouTube channel, AOCHO Studios, which will have like a whole bunch of new content that is just completely different from all the podcast stuff that I've been doing for the past 2 years. That's the first time I'm announcing that here, so
Fire.
that's dope.
Lit.
So yeah, so that will be coming out. I don't know what the first videos are gonna be. I'm pretty sure I did some adventures in Peru and an interview with my grandma that will be coming out at some point. So that's
Fire.
dope.
I need to see
And,
that.
yeah. Also, I think I also have a story there where I snuck into a Peruvian military base on accident while Peru was going through a shutdown. So that's a story
we
for
gotta
another
delete the
time
story.
and another day. But
Watu,
guys,
watu.
thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It's been a blessing. I can't wait to support you and see the project dropped and everything. So thank you so much. And one left thing left to do.
And do.
Yeah.
Now he can't upload it to YouTube. This fucking guy.
That likeness. We're gonna get sued. Thanks, Ahmad.
Thanks.